Alright, we are back for yet another week of Fantasy Football on 5. Last week was our Week 8 recap. This week will be our Week 9 recap.
So if you haven't seen last week's video, please check that below. Alright, so this week's list of studs in the NFL begins with DeAndre Williams, Antonio Brown, Drew Brees, Sammy Watkins, and Marcus Mariota.
There's also Carlos Williams, Jordan Matthews, Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers, Tyler Eifert, Delaney Walker, and Cole Beasley.
Now, DeAndre Williams went off against the Raiders this week. They had pretty bad run defense, but for the amount of work he put in for the absence of Le'Veon Bell, just continues to prove that he's a solid backup running back.
Delaney Walker also had a huge week. He caught 2 or 3 touchdowns and just absolutely destroyed the Saints defense, and that gave them a win, actually. All right, a couple of duds this week in fantasy football are Nick Foles, Ryan Tannehill, Eddie Lacy, Alfred Morris, Jeremy Hill, and Andre Johnson.
You can also add Roddy White, AJ Green, Julius Thomas, Gary Barnes, Rob Gronkowski, and the Packers defense.
Now, Eddie Lacy this week absolutely did nothing, mainly because he was on the bench. He is being slowly taken over by James Starks because James Starks has proved himself in both the passing game and the running game. And if you haven't picked him up, you should probably look into doing that if he's available.
Julius Thomas, he sucked again this week. He hasn't done anything all season. He had that one good game where he came back, but he hasn't done anything, nothing productive. So if you still have him on your team, I highly recommend dropping him.
Yeah, we predicted this.
Alright, so our injury list this week begins with Deion Lewis. He's out for the season, as long as Nick Folk, Jets kicker. Andrew Luck is out, and all these guys are questionable. John Brown, Alan Hearns, Alshon Jeffrey, Matt Forte, Josh McCown, Dez Bryant, Emmanuel Sanders, and Calvin Johnson.
These guys are also questionable. There's James Jones, Eddie Lacy, Jordan Cameron, Teddy Bridgewater, Julian Edelman, Willie Snead, Latavius Murray, Big Ben, Malcolm Floyd, and these two guys, Vincent Jackson and Kendall Wright, are out.
Now, Deion Lewis tore his ACL, which is a huge blow for the Patriots. We had him on our team, but couldn't do anything to help that. So look for LeGarrette Blount to get a bigger workload now.
All right, some news in the NFL this week. The Broncos suspended Aqib Talib for poking Colts tight end Dwayne Allen in the eye. That was completely uncalled for if you didn't see it, and there was no reason for it. The Rams suspended Stedman Bailey for violation of the league's substance abuse policy. They proceed to sign concussion-prone Wes Welker, which I'm surprised that he is coming back.
And he's still in the league, for that matter.
Yeah.
The Saints, they signed quarterback Matt Flynn as their backup. Their previous backup, Luke McCown, has season-ending back surgery. So don't expect Matt Flynn to get any playing time unless Brees gets hurt. But we just wanted to say it because the Saints are a team too. Okay, so some waiver wire pickups you should consider this week include names like James Starks, Josh Brown, Michael Crabtree, Jeremy Langford, and Randall LaFell.
Now, Josh Brown is the kicker for the New York Giants. He has had a really good season thus far. He scored 17 points last week, and he's just been very consistent throughout the year, fantasy-wise.
Michael Crabtree, the Raiders receiver, Derek Carr, right?
Yeah, Derek.
Really likes him and Amari Cooper. So if you don't have Crabtree or Cooper, I think you should really consider getting Crabtree now. And the team's on a bye. You want to take that?
Yeah, I suppose. The Chargers, Colts, Falcons, and Niners. I'm a little sad because my quarterback and my starting running back are on the bye at the same time.
You have Kaepernick and Jared Hayne?
Very funny.
Alright, this was Fantasy Football on 5. Thank you for watching. We go over all your fantasy news in 5 minutes or less because we wouldn't want to watch a 30-minute video on this topic.
Amen.
This is the Week 9 recap. Next week will obviously be Week 10. So stay tuned for that and don't forget to subscribe.
Our fantasy team, we finally won this week. Go figure. We didn't score 100 points, but we won.
We scored 97.
This brings us to 4-5 and very alive in the playoffs.
And also stay tuned for a special midweek video, our first one of the entire season.